Hi, and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick, and today, guys, we're going to be jumping down into the world of Chainlink, taking a look at the technical analysis on the 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week timeframes, and I'll be sharing my thoughts and opinions on where I think Chainlink is heading next. Now, as I get into today's video, if you do find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, what are you waiting for? Check it out, linked in a description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there, so why not go ahead and check it out. Let's jump right down into today's video, and we'll kick things off with the 1 hour time frame. So Chainlink here paired up with USDT. We're on the 1 hour chart, and obviously Binance is our data source. Now, following on from the previous video, we were talking about a move to the downside, targeting out the $10.17.8 to $10.40.4. This was our Y wave structure endpoint. We can see that we wicked down into our little range here, tapping the range at a low of $10.34.8. Okay, so this is completed here. And then we move to the upside. Now, following on from that previous video, we were expecting a 5-wave move to the upside. And we can see here that we don't really have a good 5-wave structure. We have a potential diagonal instead. And that's quite interesting to me because I think we might see a very explosive move for Chainlink upwards towards a 1.618. But before we do that, I am expecting a move down just a little bit, okay, towards our 200 EMA on the hourly chart. One of the things that we know is we shouldn't pierce lower than $10.34.8, which is our swing low down here within our little yellow range, okay? So we're looking at this move to the downside. I look at this and I think to myself, this looks very impulsive, as in it looks like we're probably going to be getting a zigzag pattern, hence why I think we are likely to go down a little bit more. Shall we show you why? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 coming down here. You then have a 3-wave correction coming up here, and then I'm looking for a additional 5-wave move to come on down and retest that 200 EMA. Our range for this will be approximately, based on the existing high, I still think we probably will move up a little bit before we move down here. But at the moment, if we were to take the existing high, we'll be looking at $10.42. But I think we'll probably push up a little bit more before we come down so that we can actually have the range, our little yellow box range here, inside our, or have the 200 EMA inside our little yellow box range. It's a little bit too soon for that, but ultimately I think we're going to push up and then pull back down, and that's going to test the 200 EMA, keeping above $10.34.8. Okay, that's going to be my expectation. Now, why do I think this? Well, if we do have a leading diagonal here, then this move would be basically just be our wave 2 out of a big wave 3 position that is coming, and that would basically allow us to have a very, very sizable move for Chainlink to the upside. So I want to be a little bit aware that it's possible that this 5-wave count here is in fact a part of a flat correction or something to that effect, but I wouldn't expect that to be the case. It is possible though, so we want to be a little bit open-minded to a few possible scenarios that could play out here. So we'll see whether or not we get a break above the swing high at 1166, but for now my expectation is a small move up, a collapse down, hit 200 EMA, and then it's at this point that I would be considering a long position, stop loss below our swing low down here on our Y wave at 1034.8, so lower than that, so 1032 hypothetically, and then a TP will be quite high. It'll be very aggressive because we would target out 1.618, which if I go put this on the 200 EMA at the moment, our TP would have to be up here more towards $12.69, and that gives us a 15.14 risk reward ratio. Again, if I am to trade this, I am going to be trading using BitGet or MEXC. Maybe I would use OKX or Bybit as well. Obviously, for me, I use BitGet. It's my go-to platform, and if you haven't yet signed up, why not check out the affiliate links in the description down below. They are a great way to make sure that you have exposure to as many of these exchanges as you possibly can, simply hedging your risks and hedging your bets, because some of these exchanges may not be around in the next bullish market, so it's best to have access to as many of them as you possibly can. But do understand that if you are looking at trading cryptocurrencies, there are a lot of risks associated associated with it. So just make sure that you're aware of all those risks and you are prepared to potentially lose your entire investment if you do invest in any cryptocurrency. So all the terms and conditions are in the descriptions down below. So why not go ahead and check it out? But yeah, if you're not already signed up to these things, I think it's a smart idea to get yourself onto as many of these exchanges as you possibly can. So you can see here, that'll be the idea. We have to come down a little bit deeper. We have good entry here and great take profit with minimal risk. Okay, and that is the play. So that's going to be how I would approach it on the hourly chart. Let's take a look from a daily point of view. From a daily point of view, you can see here that we have reached this upper limit, but this upper limit is no longer just a WXY, but is in fact a WXY-XZ, I believe. Let me just do my sense checks and due diligence here, because I think what we've gone and done, yeah, we've pierced above the 1.236 here. Okay, and that essentially means that we are in a WXY, X, and Z pattern because a Y wave doesn't normally pierce past 1.236. Okay, and so we need to be aware of a couple of things. We're going to check this level as well. We'll go check on the daily here. So from our lows of June 2023 to the swing lows that we see over here in August. And yeah, again, we're above the 1.236. So across multiple levels here, it does look like this is no longer a WXY. It is in fact more of a WXYXZ, which if I get the right run, it's going to be this one here. Okay, and so we pull back to push up again. Okay, now that collapse I think will happen once we have this initial push upwards, and then we'll come back down. So we'll probably hit that kind of like $12.69 area, pull back down, and then push back up again into that Z wave, right? That's going to be the expectation. It looks like a 5-wave count, but it doesn't reach the requirements of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's possible that maybe it can in the future if that third wave there really does ramp on up and goes into 1.68 or above, but for now it's just WXY, X, and Z. And we're looking at this as basically a triple zigzag pattern. A zigzag pattern, by the way, guys, is a 5-wave pattern on a smaller time frame, coupled by a 3-wave correction and then another 5-wave move to the upside. This is a zigzag pattern. It's the technical term of an A, B, and C. And what we're talking about here is that the W wave is a zigzag, the Y wave is a zigzag, and the Z wave will be a zigzag, okay? And so it becomes a triple zigzag pattern. So I'll show you what that looks like on a slightly smaller scale, just so you guys are aware of what it is that I am tracking. I'm going to use the ABC structure for this, but just note that it is a 5-3-5 pattern. We'll then have corrections in the X waves, and then we'll have another ABC pattern, and then we'll have another correction, 3-wave WXY, and then of course another zigzag pattern to the upside. This essentially is a WXY, X, and Z. Okay, and each of those internally obviously is a 5-wave pattern, like so. Okay, so 5, 3, 5, 3 down, 5, 3, 5, 3 down, 5, 3, 5. Okay, so essentially that's what it is. A little bit of education if you're interested in understanding what the 8-way theory is. So as you can kind of see, it's within here, and that's kind of what we're tracking. So because our Y wave pierced higher than 1.618, our expectations should be an X wave down and a Z wave upwards, but I don't think the Y wave is complete just yet. Okay, so that's where we sit on that one. We're overbought, so we are looking for this X wave to take us down. Okay, we can see that within the stochastics. Take this out into the weekly. We are looking at a big WXY, X, and Z on a macro to the downside. Now, our minimum expectations on this will be for us to pull back down towards this range here of $5. We could see as low as $2.17 on Chainlink. It's unlikely, but you know, it's a possibility, so we mention it. But as you can kind of see here, we're in the X wave. We're looking for that next big move to the downside, and that next big move to the downside essentially is going to potentially bring us to a new bear market low point. The most recent bear market low was in June of 2023. We've had a good run to the upside. Chainlink is incredibly volatile. It's why I like the asset, but essentially I'm expecting a big pull to the downside here, at least to revisit the previous area of accumulation, which was between $5.13 and $8.94. So this big yellow box here, this is our accumulation range that we've been in for a while. It is possible that maybe this is our Z wave already in this little box complete, and our Y wave is over here. That is a possibility, but I still expect, regardless to this, a move to the downside into the accumulation zones, so we can have some more time in building our positions, simply because we are overbought on the weekly, which is a big macro time frame, overbought on the daily, which is again another big macro time frame. The moves to the upside, although are great, I don't think they're sustainable right now, so I do expect further moves to the downside. Of course, you know, the future is incredibly bright for Chainlink. In my opinion, we have the upper limit of around $300, but before we can do that, we do have to kind of see a pull to the downside. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below, but that's going to wrap up today's video. If you have found it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Until the next one though, guys, have a fantastic day.